Hello people, Nico here. In this video I want to talk about building your own safe space. But instead of a space that makes you feel safe and cuddled like a baby, which is what those social justice warriors want, I want to advance the idea of men coming together and speaking in groups with people they like and they can feel safe with, and of course can challenge them in their ideas and making them grow. Those aspects of the red pill that make it great are also the aspects of it that can lead to a man feeling quite isolated and ending up to live a so-called solitary lifestyle. I don't mean, of course, a lifestyle without women, but a lifestyle without friends that you can confide in and share your ideas. That's because the red pill opens your eyes to a new reality, and not many people seem to be sharing that reality in the outside world. In this video I'm going to be mentioning people instead of men, and women in particular, as people that you can engage with, as a number of people that I have talked to also have good friends that are women. I believe that men are much better friends than women are, of course, but who am I to judge a friendship that stood the test of time for all these people? I believe that having your own safe space to be an essential aspect of living a fulfilling life, away from issues such as anxiety and depression, and all sorts of chronic ailments, as they are all linked to social isolation. A fundamental aspect of the human ape that we seem to be forgetting in this modern era is the socialization aspect of it. Human men and women combined need and require social interaction with other people. These interactions are needed as they can form bonds or connections with people on seemingly artificial common interests, and expand into accepting a person in your life. That, of course, is the way it happens, but the end result is that the people with friends in their lives feel safer as a result of it. Though as men we do not experience the fear of being alone as much as females do, and we generally enjoy thinking of ourselves as solitary creatures requiring no one else in our lives, that is simply not the case. That may be the case with men having a partner, but it is certainly not the case with having absolutely anyone they can entrust their problems to. What I mean by that is that men need some people in their lives, but they don't necessarily need women. In reviewing patients with mental health problems, what you commonly find is that there seems to be a lack of social support, the most definitive of which in the past seemed to be the family. But now with all these broken homes, a person must have friends that are supportive of him. Lack of social isolation seems to protect people from mental health problems, which of course in turn means that the human ape requires a gang of friends. This is especially the case with men in general. Spetsnaz has made references to this phenomenon in one of his earlier videos, where he described a person in isolation as starting to experience all these stress hormones, all these anxiety hormones that make a person in the long run feel quite ill. You see, a lack of friends and that feeling of safety will increase the production of hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol, leading to chronic anxiety problems along with depression. The problem is so vast when it comes to men that we are facing a suicide endemic for middle-aged men. A lot has been said about divorce statistics increasing and its presumed link to male suicide, but I maintain that the social isolation that these men suffer as a result of that divorce is an equally big risk factor for completed suicide. Additionally, boys and young men are increasingly being brought up in this technologically advanced culture where actual face-to-face interaction is going down, which I maintain is one of the reasons people find themselves in social isolation situations. And often when they describe friends, they actually mean acquaintances, but not actual real friends. I mean, think about it. The majority of human beings right now live in the city centers of their countries, and the majority of people commute to and back from work. During their commutes, they're surrounded by thousands of strangers that they have no reason to trust. Most people will work in giant corporations or enterprises where they will be just like everyone else that works there, faceless and nameless. The modern civilization is an unnatural state of existence for the human ape, and it requires him to engage with people on a daily basis that he doesn't know and has no reason to trust. The majority of us spend our entire days guarded with our anxiety levels higher than when we are, example, within the presence of our friends and family. And since being in the real world is what you do the majority of the time, then it means that you're anxious most of the time. Therefore, how can a man, any man, address this problem, much more a red pill man that views the reality from a different spectrum from every other man around him? Often in the manosphere, people push for stronger and more independent men that don't need anyone in their lives, and I have personally pushed for a more selfish individual that understands himself. Well, this goes to the core basis of our biology. Humans need other humans. It's as simple as that. We're not equipped to defend ourselves against danger on our own, and we certainly have feelings of loneliness that are especially prominent with the young generation. If you cannot change society then, and you certainly cannot change the world, then you must be willing to change yourself in order to adjust to the fucked upness that we have to live in. As humans, we haven't had the time to adjust or evolve to our environment, and our ever-changing environment as it is, it seems to be that the technology is taking over much of our everyday interactions. We are, in turn, safer than ever, yet we report much more mental health problems than ever, and most of those problems are depression and anxiety related. There's a part to say here about doctors perhaps overdiagnosing people and diagnosing absolutely everyone with mental health problems, but since the numbers are consistently going up, there is a trend that we must accept as real. Therefore, we must change ourselves. The human touch and the interaction that you can have with your friends or within groups of people that you know create this sense of safety and this sense of security that allows for a healthy mind to exist. I know many of you do not have good relationships with your family, and perhaps that is not something that's available to you. However, what is available, and it's something that I know quite well, is loads and loads and loads of people that you can become friends with. The red pill might not be a thing that you can relate to with other people, but you can certainly have friends that you have shared so many experiences with. And you can have a great time with those friends, even though they might not be a red pill. Perhaps making them red pill might be something that you want to undertake. So I think it's very important that people form friendships in order to create gangs that they can feel safe with. If you find yourself surrounded by people that you find poisonous and you don't want to get rid of them because you don't want to be lonely, so you seem to just keep them in your life for that reason, I will say that people who don't understand you, belittle you, and can generally stab you in the back if the choice is given to them, simply need to go out of your life. You don't need many friends, you don't need tens or thousands of them or hundreds of them. All you need is people that you can consider as your family. These people will be there for you and will talk to you if you need them. We're men after all, we don't need someone yapping at us all the time. A sense of security and camaraderie can exist with people that you do not see all the time. And thus, you can create yourself this so-called safe space wherever you go with these guys. And I mean that. Have your common interests, whatever they might be, and meet up with these people and talk. Reinforce that bond with these people. And though you need to be strong enough to take care of yourself, you need to have friends in your life. You need your gang in order to be able to live a stable, at least from the mental point of view, life. Thank you very much for listening.